Big win for Paynehaas's Broncos last night in the Battle of Brisbane. So it was all locked up at half-time, but Reece Walsh inspired an incredible comeback, and Freddie, all the more impressive given they were missing Adam Reynolds, Ezra Mann and Selwyn Cobbo to those hamstring injuries.
Yeah, they played a bit of a different way. I thought both Ben Hunt, he sort of controlled the Broncos and where they were going, although Billy Walters sort of supported, and then all of a sudden Reece Hunt, he just stood up and he played a game. I'm not sure if he made an error, but it's been a while since I've seen that type of performance. He attacked the game from early. He was doing hit-ups from his own end, and any time there was any quick play of the ball, he was popping up on blind sides. And goal kick, his goal kicking was fantastic, which ended up being important to the game. They scored 3 tries in 6 minutes. Like, when they turn it on Brisbane, they're nearly unstoppable.
He took the responsibility, didn't he, Reece? I thought he stepped up well. I actually thought he played well against Melbourne last week when the two halves went down, Reynolds and Ezra Mann. I thought he stepped up and played that ball-playing role, and he just looks really measured with his game at the moment. He didn't have any strapping on his knee, which he's had for the majority of the year after coming back from that PCL injury. This was a 40-20. He has got the full bag of tricks. You know, whether it's running the football, passing, he's got a great kicking game. I just think he's in a really good headspace at the moment, and he's playing like that.
He unlocked Katoni on that right side. Played a couple of short sides where he played to Katoni. I think the extra responsibility, he was outstanding. Jeez, he was good. He is such a world-class player. Good to see him injury-free, moving really freely. And geez, if they get to the top 8, they get to the top 4 and they come back, look out. Your
first action is usually indicates where your mindset's at, and they received the kick-off, and on tackle 4, he took the hit up and he attacked the defensive line. He went straight through, played the ball quick, and then they got to their kick. It was a really good indication of where Reece Walsh's headspace was at just with his first action. Not
many teams could have a replacement halfback called Ben Hunt, right? And Billy Walters, we forget that, you know, he's played there a bit in the half, but they looked great together, didn't they?
Well, they defend good. So let's start with the defensive side of things. You know, the Dolphins jumped out. They jump out at 28-14. And they looked like they were on rocks, the Broncos, but they just fought their way back in it. But what them two bring to you is defence. They're two strong defenders. So on top of that, we just spoke about Reece Walsh and his ability to attack. But Ben Hunt just controlled everything. He's got a beautiful little kicking game and just come up with some great plays at the right time.
I said last week that this game couldn't come quick enough for them. Now the game's done. They played well. They got the win. They can move on. The conversation is around moving forward now rather than who they're missing out on with injury.
Harry Grant, the crafty little hooker, tricked all of the Panthers and got an epic victory for the Storm, but perhaps the bigger talking point was just moments earlier when Nathan Cleary slotted that field goal, and then Harry Grant, whether you want to argue he played for the penalty and he milked it, this is divided opinion, Freddie.
Well, he did play for it.
Well, he definitely played for it.
But to the letter of the law,
well, Moses
moves.
Moses is in the position and he does move. It does send out a message that pretty much you can't be in front of a kicker now, because if you are anywhere in front of a kicker,
he leans.
The defence will just run at you. And that's what's happened in this situation.
Well, it all depends what you want to argue. Do you want to argue, was it a correct decision? Like, at the end of the day, it was the correct decision because you can't do that. Or do you want to argue you don't like the actions of Harry Grant? You know, they're two different conversations, I believe.
Should we change the interpretation or the rules so that, because Harry did...
Well, you're not allowed to do that.
Leave the game alone. Stop changing rules.
Well, that rule got changed last year.
Yeah.
So the blocking rule. But yeah, if you listen to Penrith, they talk about the blocking rule was brought in when people stood at the ruck, nearly offside, and blocked the markers from running out. Now, Moses was still blocking, but he's 5 metres away. So that pretty much says if you're anyone between anywhere near the dummy half and the kicker, you could just get run at.
What makes it inconsistent now, Freddie, is now there's a lot of conversation around this, and that play, like, look at Penrith. Like, sometimes you can work too hard. Like, you've got to put up with that, because Penrith work as hard as anyone, and they were all chasing the kick, and Harry was just a little bit too smart. But with this conversation around, did Harry deserve that penalty because of his intentions? Well, the referees will start thinking about the players' intentions and forget about just refereeing the rules of the game. And that's where it's really dangerous. We'll talk about the Warriors and the Dragons like later on in the show. And there was a controversial try given to the Warriors, which I thought was a blatant obstruction. So you've got to be careful with all this talk around the intentions of the player. I think the referees just need to sit down and just worry about the rules of the game and not think about the intentions of the player.
Well, he awarded a penalty straight away, Ashley Klein.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Ashley Klein, the best refereeing performance of the year.
Yeah,
he was
good.
absolutely outstanding. But straight away, he blew the penalty.
The thing where you've got to find at the moment is coaches are going to earn their money. You know, we're looking at the kick into wingers, and then we're going to look at also how we're going to get field goals. So they have to work out ways to give their team an advantage. Harry gave his team an advantage, and he got the result. So good on Harry.
Do you think that could possibly be the grand final in about
that's standard
6
compared
weeks' time, 7
compared
weeks'
to
time?
any other game this year.
Yeah.
That was just below Origin intensity.
No Isaiah Yeo, no Pappenhausen, no Hughes as well.
Yeah.
I think they
Quality
completed
come back in.
89%, 85%. Penrith come up with a few late errors. So that was Origin and above quality. Tough conditions.
Yeah, wet.
And
Right, Xavier Coates, he scored 2 and set one up. How long's it been since a winger's got man of the match? He was unbelievable.
And Munster at fullback as well,
Self-
Billy. He was giving it to you after the match
Well-
saying you used to pick his brains, but gee, it was good to see him, like, he was really involved, and I know it's not an unfamiliar position, but
Well, he was actually the one that went to Craig Bellamy and said, let me play fullback.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is the best thing for the team. Jonah Pezzett deserves his opportunity to play in the halves, and he wanted the challenge. And when you've got a guy like Cameron Munster that wants the challenge to play in a position that he wants to play in, well, you give it to him because you know he's going to be involved in the game, and he loves those sort of challenges. So he's not foreign to the position. He's played there before. He played a lot of junior footy, and he actually came into the NRL as a fullback. But yeah, he was wonderful.
Marion Seve playing with the goggles on, I've got to say.
Yep.
Absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
Did he nearly lose an eye?
Yep, he was very close to losing his eye.
And
So,
he would have thought his career's over.
Yeah.
But to play, I thought it was incredible. There he
there
is.
he is, Scuba Steve.
You know, you spoke really well after the game. These two teams were just miles in front of any team I've seen this year.
it was a risk for Seve even to come back because they said if he gets a knock to it again, he'll permanently lose his eyesight. So that's a first. Even Cleary with the headgear, haven't really seen that before. He said he had a bit of cauliflower ear going on.
Not just did Marion Seve come back and play, he scored that try. That was really important, and he made that defensive play just before coach took the intercept and ran the length. Like he came up with some big plays, Marion Seve, and he's worked his way back into the NRL team. He's earned that opportunity, and he's obviously a highlight with the goggles, but he's doing a great job for him.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. What an epic match it was on Friday night at Allianz Stadium. This had a real finals feel to it, and Freddie, your Roosters made a real statement, and they are back in the top 8, baby. How good?
Yeah, they sure were. Had 3 front rowers start the game. They were very aggressive, although they got on top very early in the game. Although the Bulldogs scored early, Sam Walker just got to work. A couple of really beautiful kicks, beautiful pass. And that man, Daniel Tupou, he had them guessing. They went in with a plan, and he just beat their plan. Scored 3 tries. He's now, what's he behind you, Bill? I think he's eight behind Bill now.
I believe. So 4th on the all-time try scorers list.
Yep.
And it was beautiful to hear Trent Robinson speak about him after the game, actually, and what he means to the club and about how humble he is. So, the Roosters are firing. Bill, there was a moment that you mentioned in commentary, Robert Toyer defensively, and just how sound his decisions are for such a young guy. And there's one moment that we've got that you really wanted to highlight.
He's 21 years old, and to defend the way he's defended, this is usually the last thing that comes, is all this little stuff, the foundation of your game. Like he's obviously got great talent, but defensively, he is so sound. Anyone that gets on his outside, he just works so hard. He covers the guys on his inside shoulder, like kick out there. Just look here. He always makes his tackles, and he's doing a great job. He's a big reason why the Roosters are playing the way they are without the football. Just watch how he moves, off the football. Like, he's a wonderful defensive centre, and he's only 21 years old. And sometimes he he gets the talent and he gets the opportunity to outlay his talent with the football, and sometimes he doesn't, but he's a very consistent defensive centre, and that's going to go a long way in September.
Is Sam Walker the difference for the Roosters? I mean, I know it took the young players a while to get used to that, the rigours of week in, week out first grade, but it seems as like as soon as Sammy Walker was back in that team, they just went to another level.
Well, the stats for his tries is absolutely off the charts, considering how many games he's played. He just plays with great freedom. He's unpredictable. You have no idea what he's going to do, but they're all dialed in. They know how to play with him. I've got to say, it's absolutely sensational coaching by Trent Robinson to let him play with that freedom, because he's going to make some horrible errors in big games, but you know what? He's going to win them games, big games. I absolutely love watching him play.
One thing I did notice, we're about 25, 30 minutes into the game, he'd made 2 tackles. He's smart. He knows where to put himself. He knows how, out of danger's way. And you don't want him making 25, 30 tackles. If you look at the other side, Galvin made 28 tackles. So he just has the ability. He's got those smarts to be able to just sit back, put himself, defend at centre, defend at wing, whatever it is. And then as soon as they get the ball, he just clicks into gear. He was 12, I think it was 12 try assists leading into the game, or 5 games, and I reckon he got another 2 or 3 in that game. So he's doing 2 or 3 a game.
I think the Roosters are the form team of the competition at the moment. They've got the Parramatta Eels next week, and then they go to Melbourne and play Melbourne, and then they finish their season, or the regular season, against the Bunnies, who we believe will probably have a whole heap of stars back. Allianz Stadium.
Yep.
Does Alex Johnston break the all-time try-scoring record on that day? That's going to be a huge game. But what about the Bulldogs? Have they got the wobbles?
Yep. I didn't think they could handle the Roosters early. They were very aggressive. White, Spencer, Lindsay, they started so strong. And they didn't look like they were in the game, really, I've got to say. And Sam Walker's kicking game. The couple of times he kicked over that side, and Stephen Crichton was on that side. I know what they were doing. They were just guessing. I think they went in with a plan, and I think in the game it just sort of fell apart. Toops was just too good for him. So, and then I think the coach came out and questioned some of their team members. They get Montoya back, and they also get there's one more to come back. Tupanil back. So
To face the Storm.
Yeah.
Give me a big one.
Down there on Friday night.
Yeah, bring it on.
Genuine try-saving tackles. 2 of them were back-to-back. If he doesn't play, probably get beat by 20.
Didn't he get back-to-back and
30.
then retrieved a kick?
Yep. Yeah. He.
What a gun.
I called the game with Gus. Gus
What a
loves him.
gun.
I think he's Gus's favourite player.
Yeah.
So
He didn't actually officially get the man of the match, though,
He
did he? Even though Gus said from here to Mars he was the best.
Yeah, and
Tallis Duncan.
Tallis Duncan was amazing
He was very
too.
good.
He had to move out into the centres. There was an injury in the centres, and he's moved out. He has played there before, but that's a deficiency out there. But he actually changed the game. He scored a couple of tries. He was wonderful, Tallis Duncan.
He actually made a try-saving tackle with the man in the
Jai
headgear.
Gray.
They won him the game in the end.
Yeah.
That was right at the end.
Oh, how good was this seeing
Special
Kathy
as well.
Freeman?
Celebrating
Greg
Indigenous
together.
round.
Those photos of Kathy and Greg after the grand final are so iconic.
They're most surely 2 of the best athletes ever to come out of Australia.
Yep.
Greg Inglis would have to be up there with one of the best athletes I've ever seen in any sport.
Well, he's one of the best rugby league players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I got a front row seat to playing alongside him, and not many. I don't think any player can do the variety of great things that Greg Inglis could do. You could put any number on his back from 1 to 13, and he would excel.
Well,
Probably nearly be
One of Clive Churchill of 5'8".
5'8".
Totally out of position.
Yep.
With Kathy, I remember seeing her run. Now, talk about pressure. Athletes always talk about pressure and handling the pressure. I was there at the Olympics, and from the moment the gun went off, everyone in the whole crowd, every single person, just stood and cheered at the top of their lungs.
I was there.
And how she coped with that, it was unbelievable. What a moment. I remember that forever.
Just given this is the second week of the Indigenous celebration of our game and our country. I just think the ceremonies have been a real highlight. Whether it's been a song, whether it's been talking in the Indigenous language, I just think it's been a real highlight. I've loved it, and it's actually made you feel proud of the heritage of our country. So, well done to all the ceremonies and the people involved in them.
It's been beautiful, so much to celebrate, but there was a really tough moment to watch yesterday afternoon for the Sharks. Cam McInnes, the skipper, has done a suspected ACL. Joey, what does this do to their finals chances?
Well, he's the effort man in the team.
He's as inspirational as they come. He
Well, he
comes
kept
off
going.
every time with cuts.
He got up and kept going and kept playing.
Can't replace him. Can't replace for what he does in the team, as in all those effort areas, and cleans up all the mess. You know, leads the speed of the defensive line. He's going to be a huge out. Huge.
Big effort from Nico Hines as well.